Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm out working on the Ford 660 tractor today, and I'm going to do a little tune-up, let's say, on the ignition system. I have a new cap, rotor, points, plugs, and wires, but it was running the other day, and it was running perfect, and it quit. I think you might be interested in seeing what I'm going to do. Fortunately for me, I have a local quality farm supply. Now for you, you might not have one locally, but you can acquire parts from Quality Farm Supply online at qualityfarmsupply.com or from SMA, and you can get them, and you can get some really good Tisco parts. This is an ignition kit, comes with points, condenser, and a rotor. And what's great about this Tisco replacement kit is it also comes with, if you can see it in there, right there, there's a little 25 thousandths feeler gauge to allow me to set the points. And so you don't have to go fumbling around, digging around, or buy an extra one. It comes with this kit. And that's what's great about Quality Farm Supply's Tisco parts. Plus, you may say, well, why are you replacing the wires? Well, even though these are brand new, these are graphite wires. And graphite wires have a tendency to, if you bend them just right, whatever, it'll break the graphite in there, and it'll break the continuity of the wire, and then you won't have the wires working correctly. And that, my suspicion is, this is what's wrong, because these wires are graphite wires. These Tisco wires are copper core, and so you have a continuous piece of copper spun around those wires from one end to the other. And so these will last, these will work, and they're great. And I want to thank Tisco for sponsoring this video and Quality Farm for sponsoring this video today. Give them a call or go online when you need quality parts from them. Now back to the repair. Okay, I brought along with me my multimeter, and I thought what we might do is put this on ohms. And if you understand ohms, an ohm meter basically tests whether something has a completed circuit or not. It goes from 1 to 0 if it is a completed circuit. So I thought what we'd do is take these wires off and check them and see if we have anything that's broken. That one says it's working out okay. That's number 4. Number 3. That one's working. And there may not be anything wrong with these, but I just don't trust them. This one's bad. Number 2 is bad. New wires. See what can happen? Number 1's bad. You're there. So 2 of those 4 wires, brand new, not very old at all, have gone bad. And they'll go bad from you just moving them around. Change the plugs or something like that. Now that coil wire is good, so I'll hang on to that coil wire in case I have a failure on the coil wire. So there you go. And that's how you can test to see whether your spark plug wires are good or not. 2 of those 4. The number 1 and the number 2 were bad. Number 3 and number 4 were good. Okay. Pop the cap off. Set it right here so it's safe. Something you want to do when you're working on a distributor like this on a 800 series or a 600 series, maybe some of the other earlier ones, when you take this rotor off, there's a little clip right here. And if you lose that clip, you're in trouble. So be very careful when you're removing your rotor to remove this clip. But you have to have that clip to make all this work correctly. Right there. Otherwise you'll be contacting your local quality farm to be buying a Tisco rotor button clip. Alright, I need my pliers. My ignition's off. So just to show you, put it on DC, put it on 200. Nothing. So there's no electricity going to that, not even to this other side. So I'm not in danger of shorting something out, ruining a condenser by shorting it. Okay. Loosen that nut right there. Slide that off right there. Remove the screw right over here. Condenser. Take it off. Set it aside. My new one's in here. I'll replace it with that. Be very careful where you put your screw. Okay. Loosen the two screws here on your points. Carefully set them aside. Pull your old contact set out. It looks okay. It probably is okay. It's burned a little, but not much. I'll file them, set them back in here as a spare. But the way it acted the other day when it quit, it acted like the points either went bad or I lost fire. So my suspicion is those wires, as we could tell on these front two cylinders, were bad. So we're going to replace those. But I'm just doing a complete tune-up while we're doing it, just for precautions. So, there's my contact set. There's my new condenser. Here's my new rotor. Here's that 25 thousandths feeler gauge to set the points. Okay. Put my old rotor in there. Knocked my little clip off, so I better find it real quick. Right there. Sure don't want to lose that thing. Right here on the tie rod end. So condenser in here. Close this up. And now put my plastic over here. As you can see, my bracket is backwards. There we go. Turn it around. Put it like that. It'll mount only one way. There are holes right here on the bottom that fit in two little bumps right here on the bottom of your distributor. Take my screw in there. Let's see if I can get that. Not yet. So I'm going to bend that down just a little with my pliers. And in doing so, I've made that closer. There we go. So that I can get that screw in there and get it threaded down in there, because it is not very long at all. You definitely want to be very careful with these ignition screws. You probably cannot replace them. Don't strip it though. There we go. Alright. Now then, you have to hook this ignition wire from the coil to right here, and you hook this wire from the condenser right here on the points. But you also have to put this little pin right here in this hole in your distributor. There you go. So that the points are seated down in a certain spot. Put the rear screw in, hold it. There we go. Now these points, let me bring you in a little closer. Right here, these points will move. You see? This little block right here rides on the top of these parts right here on the distributor. And each time they get to a top or a tip right here, it opens the contact set. What happens is electricity feeds from the coil 100% of the time in over to the condenser. The condenser is a capacitor that holds that charge. Between every time that these points open and breaks and actually fires, it opens and then fires, opens, fires, opens, fires, opens, fires. What happens is this holds it, this breaks it and releases it, and every time it releases it up through the rotor, and the rotor's pointing at cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, cylinder 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it fires like that. If that makes sense to you, and it may not, but my point is, you don't just put a set of points in here. You have to get down here even closer. You have to see how I'm putting a little gap between them. You have to break it, and you can only do that whenever it's on the top right here of one of these tips. And so I stopped my distributor on a tip like that so that I can adjust my points, and you will adjust them open at 25 thousandths. So what we will do is we'll take this other screw right here, we'll put it in here on the front end of the points. Screw it in. Do not tighten it all the way up. Do not tighten the back one all the way up. Take our little feeler gauge, make it a little snug. There's a slot right here that you can put a screwdriver in, and you can turn this just a little, pry it open, and there we go. Just enough to move that right there with your little feeler gauge, and then you tighten it down. And you check your gauge, check it with your gauge again, there. And if it's not quite enough, give it just a little bump there. There. Now then, my points are set correctly. So I tighten them down. And every time this distributor turns and hits one of these tips, and there's 4 of them for 4 cylinders, it will break these points open. And then each time it gets in the middle, it'll close them. So that's how you set the points. On a tractor or on any old vehicle that has ignition breaker points, or what we call a contact set. I adjusted the camera so we can see a little bit better. So this wire that comes from the coil comes through a insulator right here, connects to the bottom of the points, and you slide this little one right here from the, so I can do that, from the condenser. I need to bend those a little bit more, just a little. So I can slide that condenser wire, there we go, back there in the back. Now both of them are in there really good. See, I've got a lot of wire. I'll move that, I'll bend that wire around like that, out of the way. Now, take my pliers. You can take a little small, I believe it's 5/16 wrench, and do this. There doesn't have to be a lot of torque on this. Just tighten it up enough to hold these wires. These end connectors, excuse me, they're not going anywhere. Easy, tighten, a little bit more. See, they're not going anywhere, Alright, my points, double check my gap on my points since I've moved that. Seems good. Now then, you take this cover on this particular distributor. Many of them don't have this. You want to just bend this wire, twist it around like that right there. You take this, it says align with oiler. Here's the oiler. Goes on, look at there, fits right in. There's a slot here and a slot here. Fits right in. Otherwise it will not, see, it'll go on, but it won't go all the way down. There. It's on good. Everything under there is nice and neat. You take your little clip. It will only go on one way. There's a flat side right here, and it goes on the flat side right there of that distributor post. And that gives this rotor, it makes it tight. There's a flat side on the inside of the rotor. It doesn't go on just any way. There. Goes down there and it's tight. Excellent. Cap goes on the same way. The cap has 4 posts on the top. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here is a number 1. And the number 1 goes on pointing away from number 1. There. There's one little block right here in the back of the cap. Nothing else anywhere. It's pretty smooth. One little block goes on right here in the very back, opposite the oiler. You'll find it. There. Put it on there and slide it around. You'll find it. When you do, it'll be lined up by these clips. so that they'll clip on correctly. You snap those on. Now your distributor cap is back on. By the way, you want to, if you don't have a new one like I do, you'll want to inspect it to make sure there are no cracks anywhere. A crack in the distributor cap will allow it to actually jump fire. You look at your post in here, do they look good and clean? Or are they corroded and burned? If they're not, then your cap's okay. Align it again. There. Snap it on. Snap it on. Make sure it's on there real good. Then you take your new Tisco wires. This is a custom set. So these are already pre-cut to fit my distributor and each particular plug. This is the coil wire. I'm going to put it on last. But what you do is you check the length of these plug wires. The shortest one is number 1 because it goes from here to there. And then number 2 goes from here to here. And 3 to 3 and 4 to 4, the farthest away. This short wire goes on. That hair off there, whatever that is, that fuzz. Goes on this tower right here. These are called towers. Goes on this tower, snaps right on. Make sure it clicks. You'll feel it click right on to the end of the plug. Next one, number 2. You'll feel it go down in there, seat really good. Number 3. Down in there, make sure it seats down in there good. You may have to adjust. You may have to move this to make sure it gets down in there good. Then push that down in there. Make sure it seats really good though, or you'll have a gap and it'll fire erratically. Make sure they go down in there and they seat good. Then put your boot on it. These are called boots. Slide the boot up. Seat the wire down in there. Wants to go down in there. Bend the tang a little bit. There. Slid right in. Number 3. There. Clipped right over the end of the plug. Right over the end of the plug. Okay. Then you make sure you go back, double check, make sure they're all down in there seated good. One doesn't feel like it's going in. Bend those in a little bit. There. Went down in. That one's in. That one's in. Okay. Now then, lastly, either side, slide that boot over. We're working on a little bit. There we go. Slide the boot on. Slide that boot up a little bit out of the way. Pinch those in a little bit. Let down in. Engaged good. And there you have it. You too can tune up your old Ford tractor. From the 2N all the way up to any of them that are gasoline powered and take a distributor. You can put new wires on, and I recommend highly that you use these Tisco copper core wires because they will not fail you. Okay, plugs are new, relatively new wires, new cap rotor, condenser, and points. And that Tisco tune-up kit comes with a feeler gauge. That's tremendous. Thanks again to Tisco, to Quality Farm and SMA for sponsoring this video. Stop by and see them or go online if you need some quality parts for your tractor. Leave us a comment below, a question if you have one, and hit the like button please, and subscribe if you haven't done it. Thanks for visiting Returning to Basics. God bless you and have a great day.